Responsiveness is this really powerful perception. It enhances a lot of other activities that couples may engage in. People need to know sort of what to look for, when to acknowledge it, how it shows up in their relationships, and then also maybe how to cultivate it. Perceived partner responsiveness is, again, this perception that has been well studied, but I also think we could maybe translate it to the public or to the community a little bit better so people can kind of incorporate it and look for it in their own relationships.
My first question is, what is one trend in intimate wellness that genuinely excites you?
One of my lines of research is on dating or relationship initiation, and I'm currently working on this amazing project that's a researcher-built dating app called Revel, which is currently available for students at the university I'm at. So this dating app is a full-blown research study led by Dr. Amy Gordon and Dr. Elizabeth Brooke. We're hoping to peek behind the curtain to understand what facilitates connection and online, matches, how those matches may progress forward into real relationships. So the study's been amazing, but the trend that I would say we're incorporating into Revel is one that I really believe in, and I've noticed kind of pop up on other apps, which is really being transparent about our decisions and giving users their own information back to them so they can better understand their own experience and behavior. So on Revel, we're providing insights to users based on their own data. We're hoping that this helps demystify the dating process, kind of reveal things people maybe are doing that they don't realize they're doing in order to make dating a little more enjoyable online, as well as help facilitate better connections. This sort of transparency and providing insights to users is one trend that I'm currently doing in this Revel dating project, but that I feel like I've noticed people are really hungry for information. So it's been fun to kind of give them that back. Yeah.
That is so exciting and interesting. And I fully can understand how people want that information, and something that's been clearly missing from kind of the modern dating apps as we see them.
It's felt good. I do think people are really excited. Some of the stuff is really simple, like just descriptive, but some of it is a little more layered. And so I think we're trying to figure out what our users want, which is also part of the fun, but it's been great to work on that. Yeah.
If you could teach the world one insight about intimate wellness, something that really moves the needle, what would it be?
One construct that's really well studied and popular in my field of relationship science is this construct called perceived partner responsiveness. So this is the perception, and it does not have to be accurate, that your partner or who you're interacting with is understanding, caring, and validating of you. Perceived partner responsiveness is actually really important during intimacy of all kinds, but including affectionate touch. So in some of the work that I did in grad school with my advisor, Dr. Sarah Aljo, we found that when I perceive my partner as more responsive, that's associated with me engaging in and initiating in more touch with that partner. So it really does kind of create and cultivate this environment of intimacy, both psychological intimacy and behavioral intimacy. Responsiveness is this really powerful perception. It enhances a lot of other activities that couples may engage in. I think of it as this through line that really helps explain some of the best things about relationships. And so people need to know sort of what to look for, when to acknowledge it, how it shows up in their relationships, and then also maybe how to cultivate it. Perceived partner responsiveness is, again, this perception that has been well studied, but I also think we could maybe translate it to the public or to the community a little bit better so people can kind of incorporate it and look for it in their own relationships. A little different than dating, but also might show up online, could be important, we don't know. So
absolutely. And I love that you talked about to the translation piece of even though it might be well studied, this is not something we talk a lot about in dating world, in relationships, romantic or otherwise. And I think that's so important as far as the translational piece. And
it's just as important in platonic, non-romantic relationships as well. So it's this powerful perception that can really improve many different types of relationships in many different areas. So something to look out for in your own relationships, for sure.
It's a great reminder. And again, something that we need to continue to pull from the research to each of our individual eyes of how we can enhance that.
Definitely.
Yeah. I kind of want to transition into hearing a little bit about how you got into all of this. So if you could share kind of your 30-second origin story, how you found your way into this research, and when did you realize this was your lane?
This was a challenging one because 30 seconds feels short when you actually put, the words down. But I was a psychology major in undergrad. I always loved research. I really have to attribute some of this to getting really lucky with the mentors that I got to work with, who really opened my eyes and kind of brought me into the fold of relationships research. But in terms of my own motivation, I'm really interested in how couples that are made up of unique individuals with their own motivations and backgrounds and habits and feelings, when you bring them together into a couple or a dyad or a triad, they may operate and behave differently as a unit than they would alone. So sort of what creates couples consciousness? And I'm really interested in this question thinking about relationships that are just starting out. When does this couple level behavior first appear? When is there like a couple's stamp put on, two people who might be forming a relationship? When does an individual become part of a larger whole? So that's sort of questions that have driven me throughout my career, but I also really just love research. Research never gets old, and I find it so fun because people are so interesting. So that might not have been as factual as you wanted, but that's sort of what brought me here. And I do think a lot of my work lately has focused on dating. I think this is this super important, but really very mysterious human experience that we really don't understand that well yet. And it's very important to people. People are motivated to get into relationships. They want dates to go well. And I think our science is sort of just getting to the point where we can, it's been studied for a long time and we still don't exactly know what makes two people compatible. So I think I'll have work to do on that for the next, hopefully 50 years. So it's fun.
Yes, it's so fun. And you are in good company with the Shaw community of we love research. And that's what's great about being in this intimacy wellness space is there are endless topics to talk about. There are endless. I love this idea of couples consciousness. I think that's so interesting, and I'm really excited to hear more. And within the 50 years, more about how that evolves.
Hopefully, at least that long. We'll see.
Yes, at least 50 years.
Yeah.
Yes. It's great to hear from experts like you and others to kind of continue to form these ideas and questions that we have in the field. And I would love to know if you could leave one message for the next generation about love, intimacy, or self-worth, what would it be? And why does it matter right now?
The easiest way for me to answer this question was to just think about kind of my personal philosophy, which is attitude is everything. I say this a lot. My friends know I say this a lot. And this is not just about being happy all the time, but it's more realizing that you have the power and ability to overcome difficult situations with maybe shifts or changes in mindset and just believing in yourself, which is like an attitude. So I think I would remind the next generation that attitude is everything, something they have control over. That's hopefully empowering to realize that you have the power to believe what you want and fight for what you deserve. Also that you're just not alone. I think, I've said a bunch of times I study dating and relationship formation, also interested in friendship formation, but I think it's a good reminder that there is someone and likely multiple people who are out there who would love to get to know you and would love to love you. And it's just about figuring out how to connect with those people or realizing what to look for, or maybe even opening your mind to different kinds of people. So I think forming relationships feels hard, but it maybe doesn't have to be as hard. There's people out there who would love to be your friend or maybe other things. So yeah.
I'm such a fan of these messages. I think so important. Good. I'm a fan. I'm going to take this message into the rest of my day with me, but I think just so important and things I would have loved to have reminders throughout the years over and over again. So
thank you.
Wonderful.
Glad it resonated with you.
It absolutely did.
Yeah.